Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, and you're listening to...
The Bravo Show!
Good morning, good people. It's Monday. You're joining me for a live special podcast exclusive edition of the Probo Show today. How are you doing? Why is it a podcast exclusive? Well, because I'm ill. I'm ill and I couldn't make it into the studio, so I apologize if my voice sounds a little weird for the next few days. I'm working on it. There's a traditional tried and tested Grams family cure, which involves whiskey, honey, lemon. Yeah, so I'm also a little bit hungover. How are we doing out there, folks? A big good morning to my friends joining me in the chat, the live audience. We've got Pedro, Vero, Born to Iron Man, and more who have not yet said good morning. How are you doing, guys? Let me tell you something. I thoroughly tortured those elves this morning, and they provided me with an amazing show. In today's 100 Humans, I asked them to name jobs that are ideal for shy people. ¿Qué trabajos son ideales para los tímidos? What jobs are ideal for shy people? In today's Complete the News, we'll find out what police are searching for. 10,000 of something has been stolen, and police are searching for it. We'll find out what that is in the second half of the show. And in today's unpopular opinion, a good one today. A good one. Being an introvert, ser introvertido, I think it is, being an introvert is better than being an extrovert. Ser introvertido es mejor que ser extrovertido. There you go, friends. So how are you doing, guys? I'm here, you're here. Let's see what's going on in the world. So yeah, it was the Vaughn 20th anniversary. It was a beautiful day. Oh man. I participated in a special show to celebrate 20 years. It's weird. I've had a relationship with Vaughn, with the Vaughn company, and with Richard Vaughn himself, just a little bit more than 20 years. So I was privileged enough to see the birth and everything of this crazy project. Vero says, confess, Rob, you are not ill. You have a huge hangover as a result of the Vaughn 20th anniversary party. Well, honestly, I didn't really drink that much. I think I had 2 beers. I stayed late, but I didn't overindulge. No, I've been feeling bad since Friday. It's normal, man. I use my voice so much. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'll be fine, but I'll be fine. I'm a professional, guys. I had a bit of a fever yesterday, but the whiskey killed it. Yay! All right, let's get into some news, shall we? Kiss becomes the first band, or the first US band, to go virtual and bids farewell to live touring. Did you guys hear about this? Kiss, the rock group, famous for, God gave rock and roll to you. Kiss se convierte en la primera banda estadounidense virtual y se despide de las giras en directo. I don't know how you feel about this. Let's dig into this news from the Associated Press. It discusses the iconic rock band Kiss and their transition into the digital realm. On December 2nd, 2023, Kiss performed their final live showcase. Oh, I feel bad, man. I never saw Kiss live. It would have been a group I would have loved to have seen live. They performed their final live show, the End of the Road farewell tour at Madison Square Garden in New York City. During this performance, the band members, including founders Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, along with guitarist Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer, transformed into digital avatars for the encore, performing God Gave Rock and Roll to You. This innovative use of technology marks a new chapter for Kiss as they explore virtual immortality after 50 years of performing. The band's move to digital avatars represents a significant shift in how they will engage with their audience in the future. Here's a question for you, friends. Would you pay concert money to see, like, digital avatars of Kiss? I mean, Kiss tickets are not cheap, eh? We're talking over 100 euros. Way over 100 euros to see Kiss live. Would you pay way over 100 euros just to see a glorified video? I mean, let's face it. I mean, the viewing experience at a concert isn't, generally speaking, the best anyway, is it? I mean, what does digital avatar means? From what I gathered from this piece of news, it's kind of technology, 3D technology. Still, I don't think, I don't know. Maybe this will catch on. Maybe this is the concert of the future. But I would certainly feel a little ripped off. Timado, I think you'd say. If I went to see Kiss and it was just like digital avatars like on Facebook. Come on. All right, let's continue. Some interesting news here. A Kentucky 2-year-old's high IQ makes her the youngest female member of Mensa. Yeah, interesting. A 2-year-old girl from Kentucky. El alto coeficiente intelectual de un niña de 2 años de Kentucky la convierte en la mujer más joven miembro de Mensa. Mensa, as you know, is the world's oldest high IQ society. So this little girl by the name of Isla McNabb, a 2-year-old from Crestwood, Kentucky, has become the youngest ever female member of Mensa, the world's oldest high IQ society. Her exceptional intelligence was first noticed when she read words like red, blue, yellow, cat, and dog from a writing tablet, far beyond her skill at that age. Excuse me. What? Guys, I think I might be a genius. I don't know if you noticed there, but I read the words red, blue, yellow, and cat and dog without much trouble. I think I'm a genius. Okay, I get it. I understand it's relative to her age. I get it. I get it. But doesn't this a little bit sound like, you know, the moms and dads you meet at schools? No, Eric is a genius. He's a genius. He knew the lyrics to Baby Shark when he was 2 years old. He's a genius. Excuse me, Kentucky. I'm a big fan of your chicken, but I set the bar higher for genius than you, man. Sorry, okay, enough joking. After undergoing IQ testing, Isla, spell I-S-L-A, Isla scored in the 99th percentile for her age on the Stanford Binet IQ tests, recognized by the Guinness World Records on June 2nd, 2022. Isla, now 3, now she can read words like book. Sorry, I'm going to stop. Isla, now 3, attends preschool and shows a particular strength in mathematics while continuing to develop her reading skills. Her parents have enrolled her in Mensa to connect with a community that can support her unique needs as they seek individual education plan from her early start in kindergarten. Yeah, I don't know. I probably, like you, read this headline and thought, oh my God, it's a 2-year-old girl designing space rockets. No. She can read the word yellow. Well done. Let's hope for the future, guys. Didn't like Beethoven? Didn't he compose a symphony at the age of 8? You know, let's maybe reserve our judgment on Isla, shall we? Okay, here we go. Final piece of news. Okay, let's get into this one. What is Point Nemo? Case Point Nemo. The remote, watery satellite graveyard where the International Space Station will go to die. By the way, good morning, Min, joining us all the way from the Netherlands. How are you doing, buddy? So what is Point Nemo? Have you guys ever heard about this? I found this article on Live Science today. ¿Qué es Point Nemo, el remoto y acuático cementerio De satélites donde morirá. Oh, good pronunciation. I don't even need it.
Será posible.
Well,
Vaya nivelazo.
the International Space Station. Look, don't expect too much from me. So Point Nemo, located in the Pacific Ocean, is the most remote point from land and serves as a satellite graveyard. It's chosen for this purpose due to its isolation and depth over 13,000 feet. Since 1970s, nearly 300 retired space objects, including satellites and space stations, have been sent there. I don't know about you. The surprising thing for this with this news is I thought they just left them up there. Don't they? I mean, I'm kind of glad that they don't, but do we have enough junk on Earth? Just a question. just a question, friends. Is there not enough junk already on this planet? NASA plans to deorbit the International Space Station to Point Nemo by 2031. This practice is preferred over leaving defunct spacecraft in orbit, which increases the risk of space debris collisions. Point Nemo's weak ocean currents and limited biodiversity make it a less harmful site for sinking spacecraft. However, concerns remain about potential pollution from disintegrating spacecraft re-entering the atmosphere. The site selection is part of efforts to keep space clean while minimizing Earth's pollution. You know, nice guy astronauts say, you know, Earth is already a shithole. You know, there's no turning back for it. Let's at least be good space neighbors, shall we? We can't leave them up there unless we shoot them into deep space, says Min. Yeah, I kind of assumed that might be what happened, you know. Well, for a start, I think I read stories how there's just an immense amount of junk in space. When I first learnt of Point Nemo in the Pacific Ocean, I found it interesting. Hence why I shared it with you guys. And on that note, friends, let's go to today's unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our unpopular opinion. Today's pedocerebral, today's brain fat, today's pedomental, today's rayada is being, where is it? Being an introvert is better than being an extrovert. Being an introvert is better than being an extrovert. So I asked people on Instagram, as always, the real decision makers are the people joining me live on the show right now, but the real decision makers, you, the audience, we'll get to deciding that in just a few minutes. What did people say on Instagram? As always, I released a poll. You can join those polls and the rest of the things we do on Instagram around the show at Professional Bohemian. These guys said 52% true. Interesting. I'm going to admit I wasn't expecting that. But the fact that it's so close to 50-50 bodes well for our unpopular opinion today. We should get some good opinions in the audience. So 52% true. Being an introvert is better than being an extrovert. Ser introvertido es mejor que ser extrovertido. As always, I thoroughly tortured the elves and they gave me some pros and cons. Let's get into those now. Okay, so being an introvert has its advantages. Introverts often engage in deep thinking and reflection, which can lead to greater self-awareness and thoughtful solutions to problems. True. Although, as someone, believe it or not, in my life, I'm not as extroverted as I may seem on the radio. I'm not as, bombastic in my real life as I am on the radio. And it has been said that I could be quite, I do enjoy a more introverted life. Doesn't mean I'm a deep thinker, though. And I think a lot of introverts are the same, So I don't know whether you agree with that point, but that's point number one. Number two, introverts tend to prefer deeper, more meaningful relationships over large numbers of acquaintances, which can lead to more fulfilling connections. I think there's a lot of truth in that. I have a few friends, but very, very good friends. Introverts are usually more comfortable with solitude and can be more self-reliant, finding contentment for their own company without needing constant social interaction. Oh, God, this is me to a T.
That gets the provost stamp of approval.
Too many people. There's too many people. Rob, why do you live in a city with 6 million inhabitants? Great question. I've no idea, but I do enjoy my solitude. All right. And final, listening skills. Introverts are often good listeners, which is a valuable trait in both personal and professional relationships. Yeah. Again, I think both when it comes to deep thinking and being good listeners, I think that's something that extroverts place upon us rather than it being true. Because I'm an amazing nodder, you know? I can make eye contact and maintain a good nod to simulate paying attention quite well. All right, let's get into the cons, saying no. Being an extrovert is way better than being an introvert. Extroverts are more often comfortable in social settings, which can be advantageous for networking and building a wide range of contacts. Extroverts typically find it easier to adapt to different social situations, making them versatile in various social settings. Extroverts gain energy from being around others, which can lead to more active social life and a possibility of greater opportunities. And finally, extroverts are often more visible in groups due to their outgoing nature, which can lead to increased recognition and opportunities in professional and social contexts. There you go, friends. Those are some pros and cons, as given to us by the Probo Show elves. Which is better, being an introvert, being an extrovert? I'm one of these. I feel like I'm in a position of kind of having a foot on each side of this fence. I'm professionally extroverted with my endeavors in media and whatnot. But in my personal life, I tend to be quite introverted. And I think there may be the key for me in this. But we'll get into that more a little bit later. Good morning, Carmen, joining us from here in Madrid. Vero says, true. Although I think it depends on one's personal situation. You can be more open with some people than with others. Yeah, the reason this is an unpopular opinion today is because I was kind of navigating through Instagram the other day. And I happened upon a rabbit hole of here are some tips to be more extroverted, to make better connections. And I kind of thought to myself, well, are you really giving advice to make better connections or more connections? Because, the two are not necessarily mutually... The two are not necessarily both true. As an introvert, I have very few friends in my social circle, but they are very, very good friends, and I have very, very deep connections with my friends. However, I know people who are obviously very, very extroverted. Very, very extroverted. And they don't necessarily enjoy the same quality of relationships that I do. So it's an interesting kind of dichotomy there that I don't think often holds true. I don't think necessarily being an introvert or being an extrovert, is necessarily a complete bonus all the time. I think being an extrovert can quite often be a plus in business or in work. But I feel like where being an extrovert is a superpower in a professional standing, it can actually kind of hinder real relationships or hinder better connections in personal settings. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's certainly where I'm falling on this. I did get some messages on Instagram. I'll read a few of those right now. By the way, guys, a lot of interaction on Instagram recently. I thoroughly appreciate it. Okay, let's get into this. No, we read Vero's, my bad. I got one from Yolanda. Let's see, Yolanda. Geez, I get a lot of messages from Yolanda. I lost my shyness, sort of, working at the counter of un bar de barrio. like a neighborhood bar. The first place I worked, cara al público, with the public, or in the service industry, I guess you could say. I still remember being there was painful. After that, no problem. Yeah, I mean, but do you, when you hear the word introvert, do you associate that with a kind of pain towards having to deal with people in the real world? I mean, yeah, I guess that is an element of it, an extreme level of shyness, but quite often introverts, they don't kind of experience any social anxiety. It's more like, ugh, I'd rather not. It's more of a personal choice. Vanessa said, I can't really vote on this one. I think it depends on what kind of an introvert or extrovert. I'm an introvert and I feel happy being so. And the question is, better for who? Oneself or society? Oof, great points.
That gets the provost stamp of approval.
It's a great point, right? Better for who? What does better mean? Most of the introverts I know live really content, simple lives. You know, most of the extroverts I know are very much the kind of people who see the grass as always greener on the other side of the fence. People who have the feeling of missing out quite often. Where are you going? What's happening? I never feel that. I feel the opposite of FOMO, the fear of missing out. I feel JOMO, the joy of missing out. It's cousin. All right, my friends. So there you go. That's today's unpopular opinion. The benefits, or that being an introvert is better than being an extrovert. Better for who? I like what Vero said right there. Better for who? I would argue that that personally, for interpersonal relationships, being introverted is definitely better for interpersonal relationships. Maybe being an extrovert is better in business and social circles. Yeah, but that's just my opinion. And as Grandpa Bo has said, my friends, opinions, they're like buttholes. Everyone has one. They all stink, including mine. All right, guys, I'm going to go for a very quick commercial break, and you guys are going to tell me what is better, being an introvert, being an extrovert. Friends, there are so many things you could have been doing today. An infinite number of things. But instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me, and it means the world. I'll see you soon. Hey guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind-the-scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @probo, PROBOH. Okay, on with the show.
The Provo Show!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. If you just tuned in, what did you miss? We spoke about Kiss becoming the first US virtual band, un grupo virtual. They're bidding farewell. They're no longer going to do live tours, and they're going to go virtual. What the hell does that mean? I guess we'll see in the future. At a recent show in Madison Square Garden, they performed, entre comillas, in inverted commas, an encore virtually or using digital avatars. But my argument is, don't you go to a live show to see musicians live? How live is a virtual avatar? Then we looked at Point Nemo. Point Nemo, the remote satellite graveyard in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I guess it's nice in some ways to think that we're not just dumping crap in the in space, but still, you know, don't we have enough junkyards here on Earth? Can't we just blast that stuff into ET's backyard? And then finally, the 2-year-old girl from Kentucky becoming the youngest female member of Mensa. And I was a little facetious there. Because apparently they knew she was a genius because she read the words red, blue, yellow, cat and dog. Jeez, we're all geniuses now, friends. And then we moved on to, Then we moved on to today's unpopular opinion, which is being an introvert is better than being an extrovert. Interesting. I did a poll in the chat. A lot of you guys have voted on that, but we'll get to that in a second. First of all, I wanted to read some more opinions on this that I got on Instagram. Elise said, being an introvert has its perks. You get to enjoy your own company and savor deep thoughts without the constant need for social interaction. Extroverts, this is from Derek, extroverts have the edge, I think. Que tienen el ventaja. We're natural at networking and thrive in social settings. Nina says they both have their strengths. Introverts often have greater self-awareness. Leo says, I get the appeal of introversion, but for me, being an extrovert means I share my vibe with a lot of people. Thank you for that, Leo. Okay, so I asked you guys, and you guys gave me a conclusive enough answer. On Instagram, weirdly enough, a lot of people voted. But it came out as inconclusive. I think it was 52% tended to edge towards true. That it's better to be an introvert. Well, let's like break this down, right? I mean, what is it about being an introvert that makes life at least more enjoyable for you? What does better even mean, right? For me, at least in one side of my life, right, my personal side of my life, I would consider myself quite an introvert. Which means what? Which means I am more than fulfilled and more than happy in my own company. Professionally, I tend to be quite extroverted. You know, working on the radio or leading teams kind of lends itself to that extroverted, bombastic kind of nature. But do people who are introverted really suffer in social situations, or do extroverts crave social interaction? Because I think we tend to think of these things as very much one or the other, and I believe there is a lot more shade of grey into this argument. Now, I do enjoy my own company. I tend to, I'm quite a quiet guy when I don't have a microphone in front of my face. But that doesn't mean I necessarily suffer in social situations. As again, like I went out on Saturday afternoon, I wasn't crying. It wasn't torture. You know, and in the same respects, I know a lot of extroverted people that don't suffer spending time alone. However, when you look on social media, that doesn't seem to be reflected, does it? We tend to think of introverts as these poor, sorry people who struggle through life, having to deal with social situations. They're in dark rooms, just solemnly typing on keyboards. And I don't think that's the case at all. I think introverts, if anything, enjoy quite often a better quality of friendship, you know, more deeper thoughts. And it's certainly a superpower in this day and age to be content in your own company, I think. I mean, the introverts really won at life during the coronavirus pandemic, don't you think? Anyway, let's see what you guys said. So I posted a poll in the chat, and our live audience interacted. So I made the statement, being an introvert is better than being an extrovert. And you guys said 80% true. Oh, no, actually. Am I lying here? I think I might be lying. I think it might be the opposite. 1 second. Rob needs to check his view results. There we go. Hang on. Yeah, no. Sorry. 80% false. You said 80% false. Let me get... I'm just going to go ahead and guess that most of the people who watch this show live, you know, you're in front of a computer screen, perhaps like me. You're a little more on the introvert edge of the scale. And I believe a lot of this is a bit of the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. As an introvert, speaking as someone who can kind of is quite introverted in his personal life, I do kind of envy those people who seem to have boundless energy, who make friends really easily, always have something to talk about, something to say. They're always surrounded by people who seem to adore them. Yeah, it does seem quite enticing, and I can see what might lead to a vote like this. 80% false, guys. Come on, triggered. So I can see why people who tend to be quite introverted might say that. But I would argue, and I'm going to argue in favor of our introverted brothers and sisters out there. I think we introverts enjoy a quality of life that is a little, I would say a little better than our extrovert friends. We don't feel the need to be constantly in the cut and thrust, at the edge of everything that's happening. We don't suffer from what they call FOMO, the fear of missing out. We're quite content to be in our own company and enjoying kind of the quieter aspects of life. You know, we tend to have smaller groups of friends, but more deeper and real connections rather than just an endless array of acquaintances. We tend to think of introverts, don't we, as being at a disadvantage. But a disadvantage in what? I mean, sure, you can't argue that extroverts, when it comes to networking and in business, they do have the edge on the rest of us. But is that all there is to life? I would say it's not. And I would say there are definitely many, many plus points of being someone who's a little quieter and enjoys their own company. Anyway, on that note, friends, let's go to today's 100 Humans. Okay, guys, it was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys, and on that walk, I encountered 100 humans, and I asked them all a question. Today's question was, what jobs are ideal for shy people? ¿Qué trabajos son ideales para los tímidos? I asked them that question. They gave me their answers. I'm in possession of the top 7 answers right here. Your job in the chat is to identify those top 7 answers. So I did do this again with my friends on Instagram. If you want to interact with me there, you can do so at Professional Bohemian. Bohemio Profesional, pero en inglés. A big thank you to CJ Barbas, James DeWitt, Marisol, Thucena, Yolanda, Pedro, Vero, Ravdos, Nessa, Juan, Materia Oscura, Coco Lavanda, Pilar, that's all, folks, and all the rest of you who interacted with me on there. So let's see what they said. CJ Barbas here says a novelist or a writer, right? Is a writer there? Someone's a job that's ideal for shy people. A writer. Is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. Writer is there. 20 of the 100 humans said writer. Congratulations. All right, let's continue. I need to find a better way of interacting with these posts. James DeWitt here says gynecologist. I think that's ginecologo in Spanish. I'm not understanding. That's a job for shy people? I don't think so. A night guard. Oh, says, who said that one? Night guard. Thuthusea. That's ZUZUSEA on Instagram. Said a night guard, a security guard. Is it there? No, it's not. Nice try, but it's not there. What else do we have? A waiter. A waiter? Are you guys thinking this through? That's from The Bridge, who wrote to us on Instagram. A waiter's not there. Come on. Pedro here says, an IT specialist. An IT specialist. There are... yeah. There are two here that I might consider an IT specialist. I'll tell you what. I'll give you that. Pedro from Instagram. And your post on Instagram. I'll give you that. Programmer is there. Un programador, I think you'd say. A programmer is there. But, yeah. IT specialist, not necessarily. Let's continue. A scientist is Born to Iron Man live in the chat. A scientist. A scientist. You know what? I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you, BTI. Here there's researcher. Okay, it's not necessarily scientist, but scientists conduct research, right? The essence of science, discovering the truth. Scientist is there. Well done. Well done. Well, researcher is there. It is the 6th most popular answer, with 5 of 100 humans saying scientists. A translator, says Vero on Instagram. A translator. No. Wow, Ravdos gave us a lot here. Let's see. A truck driver, says BTI. A truck driver. Oh, dude, that is a lonely job. That is a lonely job. Is it there? No, it's not. Oh, God. Humans. Elves, go home, you drunk. Let's see more from Instagram. A musician, says Nessa. I'd think you have to be an extrovert to be a musician, no? It's not there. Let's go back to the chat. A librarian, says BTI. I don't know what a documentalist is. It's from Ladybo in the chat. I'm not sure what that is. A documentalist. Maybe a documentary filmmaker, is that? BTI says librarian. Is librarian there? Yes, it is. Well done. Well done. It's there, and it's the number one answer. I'm pretty sure someone else said librarian here as well. I need to maybe cut and paste all these answers I get on Instagram somewhere else. Okay, let's go through a bunch more of these. Okay, so teacher from Pilar, that's all folks on Instagram. A teacher. Is teacher there? No, it's not. You guys have only got 3 left to get. BTI says an accountant here in the chat. An accountant. Yes, it is. Well done. Accountant is there. 19 of 100 humans said an accountant. It's the 3rd most popular answer. Coco says a data analyst. A data analyst. Computer scientist, data analyst, or engineer, she says. Is data analyst there? Well done. I honestly didn't think anyone would get that one. Well done. Okay. Materia Oscura says a pet sitter. Alguien que cuida a mascotas. Is that good? Is that a good translation? Cuida mascotas? I don't know. Is a pet sitter there? Good answer, but... Mwah, mwah, mwah. A grave digger, says Nessa Vanessa. It's a good answer, but geez. I got dark quick. Let's see. A nun was another answer I got on Instagram. Great answer, but... Okay, Ravdos says electricians. Another mortuary assistant, a gravedigger, basically. Window washers, remote teleworking jobs, a garbage man. All good answers, but... We've got a translator, technician, IT specialist, waiter, night guard, novelist. My God, you guys killed it on Instagram today. But there is one more that you haven't got, and it's the 5th most popular answer. And Nessa Vanessa on Instagram did say this. She said, a visual artist. Is artist there? Yes, it is. Well done, friends. Well done, well done. All right, so I think you actually went and did it, you crazy people. All right, let's go through the answers, shall we, my friends? In position number 7, we had a data analyst. A data analyst. No idea how you might say that in Spanish, I'm going to be honest with you. A data analyst. In position number, I'm trying to kick so hard at the translation elf. Analista de datos, maybe? Data analyst. In position number 6 was a researcher. Investigador. I kind of linked that to science, a scientist. Don't they research? Of course they do. In position number 5, an artist. Artista. 5 of 100 humans said that one. In position number 4, we had a programmer. A programador. A programmer. In position number 3, here we go. An accountant. Contable. An accountant. 19 of 100 humans said that one. In position number 2, we have a writer. Un escritor. Yeah. It's being a writer, having been a writer professionally, let me tell you, it's mecca if you're if you're a person who enjoys your own headspace. Dude, writer for the win. And finally, in position number 1. Well done to those of you who got this one. I think it was BTI in the chat. It is indeed a librarian. Well done. Bibliotecario. Is that right? Bibliotecario in Spanish? I have no idea. All right, friends, on that note, let's go to today's Complete the News.
Complete the news.
Okay, complete the news time. Here we go. I'm going to give you a news headline, but I'm going to leave out some important information. Your job in the chat is with the 3 options I give you to complete the news. Okay, here we go. Here's today's news headline. Police cast a dragnet for 10,000 stolen blank. Police cast a dragnet for 10,000 stolen blank. A dragnet literally is a net, un red, that you put in the river to catch fish or things like that. But in police terms, it's just like a very, very detailed search. Police cast a dragnet for 10,000 stolen blank. Is it A, police cars? A, police cars. Is it B, doughnuts? Or is it C, Bitcoin? Police cast a dragnet for 10,000 stolen blank. Is it A, police cars? Coches de policía. Is it B, doughnuts? Donuts in Spanish. Couldn't be easier. Or is it C, Bitcoin? A, B, or C? Woo! What are police casting a dragnet for? So yeah, a dragnet is not only is it the name I believe of a movie, of a police movie or series from the 50s and 60s. It's also how we describe a very detailed search by the police. What would it be that police want to search so detailed for? So police cast a dragnet. La policía busca 10,000 blank robados. Woo. Police cars, donuts, or Bitcoin. A, B, or C. Seems to be the chat is saying A. All right, let's see. A, police cars. All right, here we go. Police cast a dragnet for 10,000 stolen. The answer was B, donuts. I got you today. You can't win them all, guys. A thief in Australia steals a truck with 10,000 Krispy Kreme donuts. Reports of the unusual theft in Australia. A woman intending to steal a van, un coche, inadvertently ended up with a vehicle containing thousands of Krispy Kreme doughnuts. Krispy Kreme is a brand of donut. The article in question provides details about this unexpected turn of events and the surprising outcome. All right, guys, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much for the well wishes. I am feeling a little better. Guys, so many things you could have been doing this morning. Instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me, and it means the world. I'll see you next time.